want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, bright and early on a Saturday morning. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Glad to have you guys with us. Happy holidays. It is post-Thanksgiving Saturday morning. You guys still eating on ham and turkey and sweet potatoes and pumpkin pie. What you eat, Mike? Sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie? Sweet potato pie. All right, Mike, you passed the test. All right, we ain't eating no pumpkin pie over here. We eating sweet potato pie. All right. Y'all still eating on that this week? Or y'all ready to get it going today in New Orleans? Ain't no telling what you may eat down in the city at Southern and Grambling. It's the Bayou Classic. It's the greatest time of the year for me. It's my favorite time of the year. There's nothing like the Bayou Classic, Southern and Grambling down in New Orleans. When I leave here in the studio this morning, I'm headed back to New Orleans. I'm on the grind. And I'm on the grind to make sure I come in and get this show together for you. Mike up bright and early, and we're going to be ready today as the Bayou Classic, Southern and Grambling. Now, look, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it today on this show. Better believe next week, though. But as you've seen all reports, everything has led to Marshall Faulk and Southern University. Now, press conference is supposed to be on Monday. After Monday, we'll talk about this. I'll go all the way with you next week. But as of right now, we're just going to leave it where it is until we get more and more details, until we get it understood into the press conference, and we get a chance to hear from whoever it may be, including Marshall Faulk, on Monday. So as of now, this is where I leave it. Is right now, I'm going to keep the focus on the big game, the Bayou Classic. Now, last night was the Battle of the Bands in the Superdome. Of course, you know, I'm always going to say, because I believe it to be true, the Southern University Marching Band, famously known as the Human Jukebox, put on the better show. That's just what I believe. That's my thought. Just think they put on a better show. No knock on Grambling. I just think, you know, the Jaguars put on a better show. I don't know how many more ways I can tell you that. And it's getting cold. It got cold out there. Y'all staying warm this weekend. That cold front moved in Wednesday, coming into Thursday. It's been cold out there. Hope everybody, for those of you who are up, I know it was a late night last night in the city. For those of you that are up, thank you. Congratulations and welcome to the Jaguar Journal this morning. For those of you in Baton Rouge, along with me this morning who listen on the airwaves, good morning to you guys and everybody listening and watching on our Facebook and YouTube live as we get things going. Happy holidays to you. We're on the back end. Thanksgiving is past. Now it's time to get ready for Christmas. Do y'all do Black Friday? What y'all was buying up last night? Y'all still standing in lines? Tell you a story. We never did Black Friday in my family. We wasn't about standing in line to go get some item, right? That'll probably be on sale here soon anyway. But what we did do was sit at the house and get ready for the Bayou Classic on Saturday to watch it on TV. That's what we did. But I first experienced a Black Friday working at Toys R Us. Now, as a kid, Toys R Us, I was infatuated with this store. Jeffrey the Giraffe. Mike, you know about Jeffrey the Giraffe? Yeah, the mascot, Jeffrey Giraffe. Let me tell you something, everybody. That was something. When you saw a Toys R Us as a kid, that was like heaven of toys. You just go in there and leave me alone and I'm going to roam. I may not even buy nothing, but I'm going to play with everything in there. I promise you. It was the same way like the game section at your local Walmart, the game section at your local Kmart, Sears, wherever you went, right? But I worked at Toys R Us. I came in, and matter of fact, this is when I first moved to Baton Rouge. I'll give you one of my first Baton Rouge stores. This was one of my first jobs. There was a Toys R Us on Airline Highway, Airline in Florida, right there on the corner. I think it's a furniture store now. But I worked there. It was my first job. I got it I moved here in August, and I got in on the Christmas run. So I got that job around the end of October, going into November. Didn't have a car, so I had to catch the bus from the Palisades off Scenic Highway all the way to Cortana Mall. I forgot the bus number, but that was a bus line that took you that way. Came from Southern to Cortana Mall and back. So along that way, I would catch it in front of the Palisades, ride the bus, get off at Cortana. But the thing about it, I worked overnight. Give y'all a little story up here. I worked overnight. I was an overnight stalker. So I catch the last bus, drop me off at about 9. I walk over across Airline in Florida to Toys R Us and get over there. And I have to be at work at 10. And I think I worked 10 to 5 a.m., 11 to 5, 10 to 5. Stocking, just getting, because you'll be amazed of what, as a kid, they tear that store up. Stuff everywhere. All over the place. So it takes a long time to get a toy store back in order after a day of kids just running rampant in there. So 5 o'clock in the morning, I catch that first bus that comes back to Cortana, take it back home to the Palisades. Boom, get ready for school. But that was one of the first jobs, along with working at the Palisades. Back to the story, Black Friday. I worked my way up. Within 2 weeks working there, they made me the asset protection manager. You know what that means, right? I'm supposed to be chasing whoever is stealing out of the store, not Perry White. You get out that door, it's all yours, but trust me, Mr. Officer sitting out there, you're going to have to deal with him. I just give you the warning before you get there. I know what you own. I saw what you was doing. I'm just letting you know it's best to drop it right here because it ain't going to go down the way you think it's going to go down when you get outside. Somebody's waiting on you. So it's best to listen to me unless you want to take your chance, and good luck. Good luck to you, too. I mean, I don't have a problem. If you world-class sprinter, if you the best getaway driver in the world, good luck to you with getting out of here with the toys, right? For the kids that I know you're trying to go hit the lick for. Black Friday, they say, can't nobody take off work. Nobody can take off work. All hands on deck. Man, listen, never knew. I've seen it on TV and the news, but I never knew what it was like until I saw that line start to stack up outside of Toys R Us at about 10 o'clock. Now, mind you, we're going to open the doors at 12. All hands on deck. Everybody's at work. And the thing about it is you got to have the store together because it's just not what you see the front of the house. It's the back of the house. It's the Power Wheel sets. It's the, they got the Power Wheels in the big truck, the Jeeps, the whatever. It's all the bikes, hundreds of bikes. You got people pulling around the back of the store, in front of the store. So it's a lot of moving parts going on. Go-karts, all type of stuff. Man, that line wrapped around from the door, around the building, and went back into the parking lot. And I didn't realize how crazy people are for a rush and a thrill until we opened those doors at 12 o'clock, and I saw people literally fighting to get into Toys R Us. And running into the store, just grabbing stuff, Mike, I don't even think they wanted it. They were just grabbing whatever they could when they first ran in, I just want this just because it's there. And you got people fighting over stuff I don't even know if they really wanted it. It was just the last of whatever it was, and they just feel like they should have had it because it was the last of what it was. And I'm in the store. At this point, we using security to break up squabbles. They in this thing squabbling over toys. Kids crying, stuff falling over. And it was a rush like that for a good 30 minutes until, you got deeper in the line and you start to realize people were, I guess, going in for what they really wanted to go in for. But then you had everybody else who was just being a part of the rush, just grabbing, almost cuss, just grabbing stuff and just being obnoxious for no reason. But that's when I realized how real Black Friday was in those times. But now, Amazon, they should be running crazy for the next 2 weeks trying to get you everything that you forgot to buy for Christmas. Whether it's the Christmas decorations, the ornaments, the gifts, whatever the case. Amazon didn't deliver us a head coach. We had to go get us a head coach. And they say it's Marshall's fault. That's our Christmas present, they say. But yeah, I hope y'all didn't do nothing crazy last night for Black Friday. I hope you went somewhere, you were safe, you stayed warm. And, you can get it off the internet nowadays. You can get it off the internet. But nonetheless, it's the Bayou Classic. I just want to have that. I'm waking y'all up. I'm just getting your motor cranked up. What's the best way to get your motor cranked up than a good old story on a Black Friday doing Bayou Classic? Now, they wanted me to work Saturday. I didn't tell this part. I worked the Black Friday, but then they said, nobody take off Saturday. You think I went to work that Saturday? I did not. I just didn't even show back up for like 3 days. I thought I was fired. I just didn't even show up. That's the other part to this story. I didn't show up, and then I just randomly came back to work, and my manager was like, where you been? It's like, I don't even have an explanation for you. Well, fine, get back to work. Now, everybody else lost their job, so they must have really liked Perry White. I kept my job, all right? But I ultimately had to leave that job because, as I told you, I was riding the bus to work. Toys R Us ended up closing that location and moved out on Segan Lane. Too far for me to catch a bus from the Palisades to Segan Lane each and every day talking about a job. But if I had to, I would have. I just couldn't with school. So let's get ready to take a break, everybody. We'll come back on this side. We'll talk more about the Bayou Classic. You guys stay tuned. Happy holidays and wake up. It's game day. We'll be right back.
As you can see, we're here in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans for the Bayou Classic. Let's take a look at what the...
right, everybody, we're back. It's more of the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Just past the 7 o'clock hour on a Saturday morning. Get up. It is the Bayou Classic. It is Southern. It is Grambling. It is the big game. It is here, and it is the weekend. Hope everybody has had a great weekend. You're getting up. You're still eating on that ham. You're still eating on that turkey. You're making sandwiches. You're just finding all type of creative ways to keep that food from going to waste. Trust me, I've been there. You're just doing anything. You find it. You're getting real creative with it. Now, I'm going to give you to Monday. After Monday, you got to start making some executive decisions. Next, you just realize don't pack too much or cook too much. But by Monday, it's time to start throwing some stuff away, clearing it out. Now, the pies and the cakes, you probably can still eat on those. But everything else, you got to kind of figure out what you want to do with it. It's getting too old from Thursday. And as we keep things going, talking about what's happening today, it is Saturday. The big game is here. There have been a week of events down in New Orleans, including last night, the Greek show, the Step show, along with the Battle of the Bands, the high school bands from right around the region, along with Southern and Grambling put on the show. And now as we get ready for today, we're going to talk about the events surrounding here on Saturday, and nobody better talk about it than Miss Candace Brock. Good morning, Candace.
Good morning, Perry.
You still eating on that Thanksgiving food?
Man, no, nah. 2 days. That's about it. 2 to 3. Some of y'all pushing it.
Now, I can take a good ham sandwich because you can't let that ham go to waste. Now, I love that ham. You can't let that ham go to waste.
I understand.
Yeah, I start cooking it with eggs. I make breakfast out of it. I get real creative besides just eating it as is. But as we talk about the Bayou Classic today, of course, last night, the big event, always when Southern and Grambling's band get together along with the Step show, entertaining because I'm always mesmerized when I look up in the stands and I see thousands and thousands of people in the stands for this thing. It is always a huge event. But the big event, the football game today on live television on NBC, is going to be featuring some big acts. But before we get to the game, Candace, what we got going on this morning leading into the game?
I'm telling you, Perry, I must really like you because you know I'm trying to get up out of here so I can get to the spot.
I appreciate you.
It's going down today, Perry.
Hey.
So you know we kick things off with the Fan Festival, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Fan Fest, 9 a.m. to noon, Champion Square, right outside the Caesars Superdome. Absolutely free. Of course, have your clear bag because you know how they trip out there. So bring your clear bag. But it's going down. Like, you thought the act was big last night. Wait till you see what we got for you today. So we're bringing out 2 Chainz.
Who?
He's headlining.
Who?
2 of them things.
2
Chainz.
Uno, dos, chain.
Yes. So he's headlining Fan Fest. We also have Headband, TZ, DJ So Cold, Giovanni Ward, DJ Juice. It's all hosted by Wild Wayne. And, of course, we got to bring out some of our high-energy DJs, including DJ Keith Scott and DJ Papa. So that's why I'm telling you, I'm trying to hurry up and get up out of here so I can get me a nice, good spot and see the show for Fan Fest. I can't miss 2 Chainz now. I just can't do it.
You can't miss it. Not at all. And, you know, as all of that go down, once again, for everybody this morning, give the time and as well as you talk about the clear bag policy and everything so we can make sure that people don't have any discrepancies when they show up to go see these acts.
That's why I'm trying to get you in the know right now. Don't show up there with that big purse that you know you can't get in the building with. And then you're stuck either late for the show or now you got to leave your bag at the door.
Don't do that. Don't do that. But you know it's going to be somebody. Somebody out there always trying to do their own thing, Candace.
And I'm giving you the heads up now. There's no reason for that.
No reason for it. What else we got going on this morning, Candace?
Well, of course, after Fan Fest, we can't forget about the big game. It's the 52nd annual Bayou Classic presented by Procter & Gamble. Kickoff is at 1 p.m., but doors do open early at 11:30. Now, you do need your ticket for that. And again, that's where that clear bag policy takes place. So we want to make sure that you have what you need so you can get into the building. And you said it already, the halftime show. I tell everybody, that is not the time. Do not try to make your way to the bathroom or try to refill your refreshments during halftime. Because I don't know if you've heard yet, but the acts are about to be big for this halftime show today. We're talking about Glorilla. She's coming out with Grambling, and then Southern is bringing out the one and only Juvenile.
Oh, one
So
time for the 2000.
woo! I'm telling you, us millennials finna cut up. I am ready to back that thing up. So, man, y'all better get out there. Kickoff is one. You know it's going to be a big game. But halftime, I'm super excited and cannot wait to see what both bands are about to bring to the field today.
You know, with the information around the Bayou Classic, and I was at the press conference and had a chance to see you and many other people as we got this thing kicked off on Monday. Just the impact, and you see all of the dignitaries from around the state and locally right there in New Orleans, and you see the administrators, and then you just see the fans, you see the alums, you see everybody who wants to be somebody, a part of this game, being there and showing up, and they've been a part of the events all week. But the impact of the Bayou Classic, talk about that and what it means for the two schools, a national audience that's watching at home on NBC, and the city of New Orleans and the businesses and everybody that'll be a part of this thing that we're doing this week.
Absolutely. I mean, attendance has grown each year, and this year we're expecting about 64,000 attendees for the game. So it's always a huge impact on the city and the state. Typically, we're estimated to generate about $26.5 million in overall economic output and about $8.9 million in overall earnings. And it also generates 217 jobs for the state of Louisiana, myself included. So, it's really a huge impact, not just on the city of New Orleans, but the state of Louisiana as a whole.
And also, I remember listening to the chief of New Orleans saying how local, state, and federal law enforcement are going to be coming together this weekend and to ensure safety for all fans and visitors into the city of New Orleans as well.
Yes. This is always out as a community, family-friendly event. That is always what the Bayou Classic is about. So, of course, safety first. So glad to hear that we will have, like you said, our boots on the ground with people and our law enforcement really making sure that everyone is safe for such a huge event like this.
So, this is a funny story. I'm going to say this publicly. Candace and I had a conversation on Monday, and she was saying, what do you think? What do we need to do to get more people? I said, Candace, it's simple. Both teams got to win. If you give two winning teams in this thing, I promise you it'll be packed out. And I understand this year, Southern having a historic season, Candace, is not for the best reasons. We fired our coach. We moved on. Now, the Marshall Faulk era may begin. And look, what I want today, and I wish it could happen, NBC, I don't talk about the historic loss. If you can, just talk about the New Orleans native and Marshall Faulk. He was from right there in the 9th Ward, and how he'll be coming home and taking over at Southern.
I like that. Let's focus on the positive.
Yeah, because, I'm already prepared for people at home to hear about every time they say the Jaguars coming to this game on a 10-game, 9-game losing streak. Like, all right, enough of that. But, as we talk about it, Marshall Faulk, of course, I think will be a big help moving forward when you look at the attendance of this game, because he is a New Orleans guy from right there in the 9th Ward, went to Carver High School. And so right now, all indications that he is going to be the next head coach at Southern University. So that should help big time as you talk about growing the Bayou Classic. And that's my question. How much more can we grow this thing, Candace? It is already, as they say, the granddaddy of them all. It is the premier HBCU football classic in the world. I'm not going to say the country, in the world. So where do we go from here?
I mean, it's still only up from here. As being a part of the Bayou Classic team, our goal is to see what else we can include to make this bigger and better every year. So I guarantee you it's not going to stop. This year we added on some new events, and with the success of those, we plan on continuing to do the same for next year. So I'm telling you, Perry, it's only up from here. We're not stopping.
Well, y'all don't forget about me next year. I want to get on the team. I want to be a part of it, because I'm telling you, the Bayou Classic for me is so special, and it is the premier game. It is my favorite time of the year, and it is my favorite event of the year that I enjoy, because it is the very event that ultimately led me to go to Southern University. That is the impact of the Bayou Classic. And for me, it wasn't the schools and me going on their campuses. It was me showing up in New Orleans, getting into the Superdome, and watching these two schools in Grambling and Southern play each other. And it was the lifelong effect that game had on me. I was talking about Southern nonstop. When I left with my little Kodak camera, I had to take to Walmart and get those 1 hour pictures. And I was showing everybody what it was like. And I talked about it. And I talked my way all the way to Southern to get a degree. And now I'm talking about it still on the radio. And it is the impact. And that's how big this game is, because it could be a kid or somebody at home watching, or somebody showing up for the first time. And because of this event, it makes a lasting impression to where those kids say, I either want to go to Southern or Grambling, or the family says, this is going to be a tradition for us. We're going to New Orleans every year from now on for the Bayou Classic. And I tell my family, when they ask, you coming to do that, unless we all meeting in New Orleans, because that's where I'm going to be. I'll see you at Christmas, Candace.
I know that's right.
So one more time before you get ready to get out of here, Candace, I know you got a busy day ahead of you. Let everybody know the times, the events, and what is happening today, and as well as for the game. If there's any more tickets, where do they go? All of that good stuff.
For sure. You still got time. Make your way out to the Champion Square, right out front of Caesars Superdome, 9 a.m. That's what time we're kicking off our Fan Fest. I already told you about the acts, so you don't want to miss that. And then, of course, kickoff time is 1 p.m. inside the Superdome. Doors open at 11:30, and that's what time the game starts. But again, definitely get there early, because I already told you about the halftime show, which is going to be huge. So again, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, it's not too late. You can go to our website, mybayouclassic.com. They also have tickets on sale through Ticketmaster or right on site at the New Orleans Arena box office. So it's not too late to get your tickets. You want to be in the building. Yes, it is going to air on NBC, but Perry, you and I both know this is one of those electrifying moments that you just have to be in the building to feel that atmosphere. So that's what we want you to do. Get your tickets and get out there. It's not too late.
Y'all heard the lady. Get your tickets. It ain't too late. Let's get to New Orleans. I'll be in the Superdome today, and I'll be able to holler at you, Candace, as I'm out around checking out all of these awesome events. Candace, I appreciate you for coming on, and thank you for always with the hard work that you guys, along with Dottie and NOCCI, that you guys work together with both schools to ensure to put on a great, great event for people. Hundreds of thousands of people from all across the world to come in and say, man, look, I'll be back next year. So thank you guys for all that you do, Candace.
Thank you, Perry. I appreciate that.
All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. That's the voice of Candace Brock talking about the Bayou Classic. We come back on the other side. We'll talk the Southern University Marching Band, who will be putting on a big show today. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Everybody in the Baton Rouge, capital city area, listening on Talk 107.3 FM. Good morning to you guys, and everybody watching on our Facebook and our YouTube. Good morning. Glad to have you guys with us. It is time for the Bayou Classic. It is the big game, Southern and Grambling. Hundreds of thousands of people have come into town down in New Orleans to enjoy one heck of an event. And as you heard Candace Brock say, things are about to get kicked off here in about an hour with the 2 Chainz concert right there in Champion Square for the pregame. And then we head in for the big game. And a part of the big game is the bands, just like last night with the Battle of the Bands. And nobody better than to talk about Southern's band than the head director himself, the maestro, the leader, Dr. Kedrick Taylor. Good morning, Dr. Taylor.
Good morning. How you doing, Perry?
Good, man. You know what? I got your back so much. From now on, if we go somewhere, I'm going to start checking folks. Because when we go places and they announce you, I don't know where they get Kedrick Taylor from. Where do they get that from?
I think they missed the beginning of first grade, when they started teaching you how to pronounce those syllables.
I hear it too often. I'm like, man, come on now. Y'all can't keep doing my mans like that. It's not Kedrick. It's Dr. Kedrick Taylor. I'm going to make sure I put it out there, and we're going to get that right publicly. So if they need to know, they know now.
Yeah, that'll be great. So they'll know.
Man, glad
to go up there and try to correct them on anything.
Glad to have you on this morning. I know you got a busy schedule this morning. You are moving the human jukebox around the city of New Orleans, getting them prepared for the big game. But last night, the Battle of the Bands, Southern and Grambling, of course, that is always a huge event, man. Just, talk to us about what is preparation like when you have kids on campus who don't get to go home So you got to do Thanksgiving with them. You are basically the family. You guys are a family together spending Thanksgiving, but the preparation in a week leading up to the Bayou Classic, what is that like for you and your staff and the students that's over at Southern University?
Man, it's definitely a great experience for the students to be a part of the Bayou Classic, the Battle of the Bands. Leading up to the Battle of the Bands, a lot of people put a lot of things out there like, man, I know you guys got this and that. Not realizing it takes a lot to put that stuff together and it takes a lot for the students to learn it, all while still going to class and focusing on midterms and final exams and, just being able to do all those things. And then here we are preparing for a big weekend, and then you have the Battle of Bands, and then now you got the game. It's like, it's a lot for students, but in the process, they having an amazing time.
Yeah.
They're having an amazing time.
What is that process? What do you guys do for Thanksgiving for people who don't know? Everything's closed. How do you take care of those students when they're away from their families?
Well, we always make sure we get a catered meal for them. We want to make sure that they eat really well while they're here on campus because they don't get to go home to their families. If you're, far away from home, students in the Baton Rouge area, they get to go home, but the students that's actually from up north and on the West Coast, they're not able to, go home. So we get a very nice meal for them to have for the lunch and dinner. So they get enough to be able to go back to their dorm room and relax and enjoy to get ready for the amazing festivities for the weekend.
Because being a part of the Human Jukebox Media, man, I get to see this band from so many different perspectives. And, man, it is amazing to watch you and your staff prepare this band, whether it's on a football field or it's in the stands, to get ready to entertain thousands of people in the Superdome over this weekend and then millions at home. Does the moment ever seem too big when you realize, hey, man, we got a big performance this weekend?
Well, it's never too big because one thing about the Human Jukebox, I don't think there is nothing like it in the world. When you think about the level of performance that this band has played throughout the time that we've known the Human Jukebox. So the Human Jukebox, isn't to rise to the occasion. So I don't think the lights get too big because these dudes have played on the biggest scale. I don't know if it gets too much bigger than the Super Bowl. I think we'll have to do what is it, NASCAR? I don't know. But it don't get too much bigger than that stage, and so they handled that very well. So I was like, man, I don't know how I will be performing, but the students do a great job of adapting to the environment. So they get accustomed to learning how to adapt to whatever environment they have to play for. That's what makes them so special being in the Human Jukebox.
I think the next biggest event that Southern has to conquer, it may have to be like the World Cup or like some type of FIFA the championship. That's what I'm talking, the World Cup or something. That's the whole world now. That's what they consider football, but I think that's got to be the next level for the Human Jukebox.
Hey, we ready. They got a theme song that they have.
Talk about the band rivalry of Southern and Grambling, premier institutions of higher learning, HBCUs in the state of Louisiana. What that is like when Grambling and Southern get together and be able to, and you look up into the stands on a Friday night like you did last night, and you see thousands of people that showed up and say, man, we want to be entertained by these two bands, man. And what is that like for you guys to be able to put on that show and more so look up and say, man, they listening to my music I arranged, man, and I got their heads bobbing. Matter of fact, I got them to buy tickets to even come in here.
Hey, man, when you think about two very, very well-known programs, both programs were known for their band. I think Grambling were seen first due to them having a winning coach in the late, great Eddie Robinson. And they band was seen a lot on TV. So a lot of people knew about Grambling band. And once Southern started getting notoriety, then that's when they were like, oh, it's something about that band. Who is that band? You know, they had to know, you know, who that band was. And once they figured out who it was, the Southern University Human Jukebox, then it was like, oh yeah, that's one great program. So anytime the Southern University Jukebox is in a arena, a building, and other people are knowing that they're going to be there, it's going to draw a crowd. I feel like there's not an event unless that jukebox is in the building. So, you know, Grambling has their following and Southern has their following. It's like seeing your favorite artist and two of your favorite artists in the same venue. That's what people think about when they see the Southern University Human Jukebox in Grambling State. What's the World Tiger Fame band?
we'll just take that and roll with it, all right? Let me ask you this.
World Fame.
Hey, you you look at today's performance. Halftime is game time, as they say. And most games, when it gets to halftime, they go back to the studio and they talk about other games. But oh boy, not today. NBC will be able to have this on a national stage for a national audience, because they do too know on a national stage, Southern Band is going to entertain. And part of the entertainment with the Southern University Marching Band this year is going to be Juvenile, one time for the 99 and the 2000s. And it seems like every year you guys continue to bring it. I remember Fantasia. It was Lil Boosie last year. Now Juvenile to set it off for the crowd up in the man. Talk about that collaboration of two Louisiana greats.
Well, I think when you think about artists, man, it's hard to get those artists to perform with band programs because they're so used to music being so in sync and perfect. So to even get those artists to perform with the band programs, it takes a lot of work. But people don't know, we don't really practice with the artists. You know, that's how great the programs are. It's almost on autopilot when they get ready to, you know, come perform with us, and they're like, yeah, that's it. You know, they're amazed that the instruments can make their music sound just like their music, but not realizing, you know, it all derived from the keyboard. But it's an honor for us to be able to perform with them, and it's also an honor for them to be able to perform with these amazing students because, again, these students know how to bring life to an event. So I definitely believe that they get not only notoriety, but they also have fun doing it because they are human. They normal people, and, you know, they like to have fun as well. You know, that's one of the great things about having the students perform with an artist. And it also inspires students that may want to be artists one day to let them know that, hey, you too can do that. And this is what it's like to be in a band program. And so you can know, hey, you'll love to give back. That's what it's all about. Being able to give back to these programs to continue to innovate and create an environment to create more individuals to be creative. So us performing with Juvenile is nothing short than amazing because I grew up listening to Juvenile and the whole Cash Money. I used to have it on replay when my parents would leave and my dad had speakers. So I would turn it up. So, man, I would have that thing blasting in there.
And listen, you know, when I saw Juvenile and I thought about it, I said, man, this halftime may bring me back to the old days. This may be one of those throwback Southerns that we see when you bring Juvenile, because I never forget one of the biggest and lasting impressions of Southern's band was my first Bayou Classic. And at that time, Mystical was larger than life, and Mystical performed with the band, and he did Danger. And I mean, the dome went crazy, man. It was that event within itself. When I left, and I talked about that forever, man. So when I saw Juvenile on the list, I said, look, this thing gonna be a throwback today. This ought to be one that people will remember for a long time.
Yeah, I remember that as well. And when I say he had the dome rocking, and I think, well, I don't think, I know that's the same with it's going to be the same way with Juvenile. You know, he got one of the most iconic songs everybody listens to. You know, when that beat drops, some people, grandmas and bonbons,
I'll back that
ready.
thing up.
Oh, hey, you already know.
I just had Candace Brock from the Bayou Classic telling us about the events, and when she said Juvenile, she even admitted she couldn't wait to back that thing up today. So, so I said, I know it's real when the professionals publicly tell you they ready to back that thing up. It's gonna go down today.
Oh yeah, but yeah, tell them they better go and get their popcorn in the second quarter or go get it in the third quarter. Don't go get it in the halftime.
And make sure you stretch, because them knees, it's probably been a while since most of them then bagged that thing up, Dr. Taylor. So they're gonna have to make sure they're good.
Tell them they're gonna have to go and catch some stairs and catch that rail so they can have a little room.
You know, and not only that, with today, man, I gotta say congratulations, because what one hell of a year you and your staff and the band has had this year. You're talking about from performing with at the Super Bowl to going out to LA to being in a film that was dedicated to covering you guys, the hidden sport that won an Emmy. And not only that, with today's performance at the Bayou Classic with Juvenile, and then being able to be selected as one of two of the top bands in the nation to then go on. And in a couple of weeks, you're going to be over in Atlanta the night before the Celebration Bowl competing for the Band of the Year, sponsored by Red Lobster, man. What is that like? Man, a hell of a year. First of all, congratulations to you guys for all that you do. Because for all the critics out there, to hell with them, because look at the body of the work. The resume don't lie. And in 2025, Southern University Marching Band has been doing some big things. And now to make it to end, to put a stamp on a hell of a year, started with the Super Bowl and then being able to end it with the Band of the Year, which I know we're going to come out of that thing number one, because don't nobody drill on a field like the Southern University Marching Band. Don't nobody mesmerize the crowd with the dance routines and everything else like the Southern University Marching Band. But for you guys to be selected, it's going to be Southern versus FAMU. Man, that is huge in the band world.
It definitely is, and it's definitely an honor. And like you said, it's a testament of the work. We always pride ourselves on may the work we do speak for us and not us speak for the works that we do. That's a profound thing that I always tell the students, like, guys, just keep working. No matter what nobody say. I look at some of the greatest athletes in the world, like LeBron James. No matter what you might say about LeBron James, the guy is going to go down as one of the greats to ever play the game. And, you know, you ain't going to miss him until he's gone and realize how great he was, you know, not having him there. So when you're thinking about, like, two powerhouse band programs like FAMU and Southern University, total different in style, but you can have an appreciation for both styles. But I can't agree with you. Nobody drills like the Southern University Human Jukebox. That was one of the main things that drew me to Southern University. The pageantry and motion that the drills that we do, it looks so good and clean. I don't know. It's nothing shorter than amazing. When I'm looking at it, when I'm looking at the band, I'm telling the students how to do this at a high level. And man, when they able to execute at a high level, it's like, man, do y'all see that? It's like, you know, sometimes people grow so accustomed to seeing the band perform at a high level, they get spoiled. And they don't realize it until you go somewhere like California, you know, and those people go crazy. You know, that's one of the things that made me want to come to Southern University. Looking at this band, like, it was like, man, them cakes rocking and that plume rocking and them horns. I mean, man, ain't nothing like it. And if you know anything about precision, excuse me, you know anything about precision, you know that that's not easy to do. And it's not easy to do at a high level consistently for many years. So that just speaks to the staff we have here at Southern University, which we don't take that lightly. These guys have done an amazing job working with these students. Mr. Todd, Mr. Collins, Professor Young, Ms. Rosette, Mr. Hart. These guys, you know, work close with this band. And people don't hear about them all the time, but, man, they do a lot of work behind the scenes. And they listen to my really, really amazing ideas that I bring.
Hey, pat him on the shoulder.
They look at me like, Doc, you serious? But I understand it because you got to take risks, man. You gotta. People want to see innovation and creativity. So I believe in taking risks. Just like we put the time on the field, the exact time when the band marched out, and we tell everybody, look at the clock. Like, man, we took a risk doing that, you know. But those are the things that make us the human jukebox. We set the standard. That's why we always say at Southern University, we are the standard. So I'm excited to go out there and compete. There's going to be 12 judges out there. Those 12 judges, you know, definitely are from different universities. And so they'll be able to witness the same thing that the fans will be able to see. So it's going to be definitely amazing because I know, fam, you're going to be prepared, and so will we.
Well, Dr. Taylor, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning to talk about the big game this weekend and talking about the band of the year coming up and the preparation of what it took. And if you don't want to see it, all you got to do is tune into NBC today, and you're going to see an electric halftime performance by the Southern University Marching Band, the greatest band in the land, known as the Human Jukebox, and Juvenile will be right there performing with them along with the fabulous Dancing Dolls. It is going to be something you do not want to miss. So today, 1 o'clock, the game comes on. You watch it until it's halftime, and you will be entertained. Thank you, Dr. Taylor, for coming on this morning, man. And I'm looking forward to doing my part in capturing all of this today, man. I tell you, just as much as you say you mesmerize, every time I get a chance to get out there with the band, with the cameraman, and record this, it is magical because I realize the work that you guys put in. And when you watch it coming to fruition, it is an amazing thing to see when it's at a high level for everybody to watch, man. So thank you for coming on this morning, man, and I'm looking forward to it today.
And I thank you for having me, man. We're looking forward to it. Amazing game day experience on today. And go Jazz. We got to get that dub today.
What'd you say? We got to get that dub today?
We got to get that dub today. We got to get that. We got to go out with a win.
Well, let's get that dub today then, Dr. Taylor.
Let's go.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you, man, for having me on.
All right. Mike Sam, do I need to go to, can I take a quick break, Mike? No time? All right, top of the hour. All right. Look, hey, Mike been telling me to take a break, but I couldn't pass that up. Mike, they going to be mad at us today? You okay. All right. We'll be good, though. So we'll just keep it going to the top of the hour. How long I got for the top of the hour, Mike? 7 minutes? Okay. Well, look, you know, as you talk about the halftime show today, man, it is going to be amazing. Southern's band is doing this thing. And, man, listen, let me tell you guys something. It is going to be a spectacle. It's going to be a show, and I'm looking forward to it. One thing I do, I get a chance to go out there with the band, and not only that, I get a chance to capture these moments, being a part of Human Jukebox Media. Let me tell you, I don't get nervous. I've been able to do this a lot. And when I say do this a lot, I've been able to be in a position to be at the Super Bowl, at the so many other things, man, to capture this. And this is always a great feeling. I've been doing it for 9 years, man. It's been a blessing to be able to be with the Southern University Human Jukebox and follow them around. All right, let me get ready to take a break. Mike counting me down. You guys stay tuned. Get ready. As we get ready for the top of the hour, we're going to have more of the Jaguar Journal, all right?
When we go to, we cheer for both. When Southern has home games, we go to Southern games, and when Grambling has home games, we go to Grambling. It's a win-win situation.
We support both, no matter what.
That's right. This is a house divided. When it say divided, don't mean negatively, but this weekend that is divided. This is my wife, Margaret, a Grambling State University alumnus. I'm Barney Huggins, Southern University alumnus, and we both are pulling for Grambling. See what I'm saying? That's what I meant when I said house divided. But anyway, this thing has been going on for 32 years. We just moved back from Seattle, Washington. I met her in Seattle. She had Grambling equipment on. I had on Southern gear. I said, oh, wait a minute. But hey, it all still works.
Yes, indeed. Hey, we've been going to this for years. It's an opportunity for the brothers and sisters to get together, for old friends to get together with those lifelong friends. And that's what it's really about. The game is always good, but just getting together with everybody else is actually the best. That's what I think about the Classic.
We thought you knew. We thought you knew. We telling everybody that walk around with this Southern shirt on, you need to look behind you because you dropped your jeans. You better pick it up. Let them tell you like it is.
Shout out to the SU football team. It's going down. I got my partner over here supporting this Brown fam. We about to give a blemish on their record. Shout out to the Jags.
We enjoy coming out to the Bayou Classic. It's a tradition for our family. I'm an alumni of Southern University, and again, it's a good time for family and also friends. So it's a tradition for us. Go Jags! It's about the game.
That's what that was about. But how many championships did he win you? How many Sheridan championships did he win you? 2. Okay. SWAC championships, he won you 3.
On his first go round.
It doesn't matter who he got the team from. He won it under him.
First go round. But when he came back,
Was winning the
What
big
was he
game.
left? Who left him what? Melvin left him garbage.
Really? Excuse me.
But he won.
Before he left, we won.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying, when he came back, he took an All-American quarterback and made him compete for his position against your son fresh out of high school without a quarterback.
That's what.
Why would you compete with
my
all
son.
sweat? But does that make it right?
It don't make it right.
You look like a Christian man now. Does that make it right?
It don't make it right.
Does that make it
It don't make it right. But it's still
it's expensive
of the whole team. Yeah.
That's what I'm making. Yeah. I wouldn't do it. I'd have switched my son to cornerback or receiver because he was not the better quarterback. And he cost us games until we had a revoke.
Y'all winning now?
It's obvious.
See?
It's obvious.
Okay, well, you got
undefeated.
Then you got how many more games you got to play?
Undisputed after we win today next week.
And then, no, week after 2, you got to go to Atlanta.
No problem. Be there.
For the BS.
No problem. No problem.
They in SWAC already.
No problem. That's SWAC. We here just to enjoy the festivities. We here.
This is what it's all about. Grambling Southern. It's the whole weekend. That's what it's all about.
It's ride or die, but it's love though. It's love though.
Yes.
We don't,
Ain't no doubt.
The Human Jukebox. They are the Southern University Marching Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? New Orleans, Louisiana. Are you ready for the band rated #1 in the nation by USA Today? The Southern University Marching Band is led by drum major Jackson Jr. Show him some love. The band will now take you through a precision tune under the sounds of Spirit by Tom Hayes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Southern University Marching Band proudly presents you with today's halftime score. SU 14, SU 3. Jaguars, the #1 band in the land salutes the #1 university on planet Earth. SU. awesome force in the universe. Ladies and gentlemen, the stars of today's halftime show, the Southern University Marching Band from Jaguar Land.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning to everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody out there listening, watching across the world on our Facebook and YouTube. Good morning to you. Glad to have you. It is Bayou Classic, and as we're talking about the Bayou Classic, listen, nobody better to talk about the Bayou Classic than a coach that coached in it and won 6 of them. And he's the former Southern University head football coach, my man, Dawson Odums. Good morning, Coach Odums.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, can't complain, man. Everything's good.
Man, we talk about the Bayou Classic, man. It is a huge game, Southern and Grambling, and a unique perspective people really don't get a chance to hear from is from the coach's perspective. I just had Dr. Taylor on to talk about it from a unique perspective of being the band director at Southern and getting his band together to perform in front of thousands of people and even more so millions of people that'll be watching on television. But there's a different scope of it when you're getting a football team prepared for a huge rivalry game down in New Orleans of 2 premier tradition-rich HBCUs in Grambling State and Southern University, man. And for you, you know it all too well because you won 6 of them. You were 6-3 overall in the Bayou Classic during your time at Southern University. Talk about preparation. You always get that bye week coming into the Classic, but then the preparation, man, to get a team prepared for a huge event for a national television audience like this game right here.
Well, first of all, it's national attention. I think you have to inform your teams that, hey, this is for national attention. This game is going to be televised nationally. This is not a ESPN Plus event. This is a national event that's going to represent the institution. It's going to represent the state. It's going to represent where everybody know about HBCU football. We're talking about 2 powers as you look at HBCU footballs who have a rich tradition across the world. So everybody know about these 2 institutions, but you can't get caught up in the moment. I think controlling your emotions is big. You got to have the right discipline and the right mindset. Throw records out the window. It doesn't matter what the records are in either team because you're going to get each other's best. I mean, you got to play hard. This is one of those games where your attitude and effort has to be at the forefront, and you got to play extremely hard for 60 minutes and beyond. And the teams that can control that for the majority of the game is probably going to have the upper hand in this game.
You look at the rivalry, you know, I used to enjoy listening to your Bayou Classic press conference speeches because you'll go from 0 to 100 real quick, but you always gave a good essence of the game and what it meant as you built it up for people to understand what this rivalry really means.
Well, it's big, man. It's the state, man. We represent everything it is to know about this state, and it's really the only rivalry game in the state that's going to be played on rivalry weekend. So that's something to be said in itself. It's a great opportunity for the young men of both programs to go out there and represent to the fullest because it don't get no better than the Bayou Classic. They call it the granddaddy of classes because it's been there for a long time, but it usually sells tickets and it usually comes down to an exciting football game. And I believe you're going to have another good one come later on today. It's going to be an exciting football game. Both of these teams are going to put it all on the line and throw the records out the window. I keep saying it, but it's going to come down to who wanted the most and who make the least amount of mistakes. But it's everything you want. What I always told the players was, don't get too high, don't get too low. Just try to stay even keel because when you run out that tunnel and you got 50,000 plus people screaming and yelling, I mean, the adrenaline rush is there. But you got to kind of maintain your energy and focus so that you can go out and do the job that's necessary.
Talk to me about your first Bayou Classic as the coach at Southern, man, and coaching at Southern. What was that experience like just for you to realize the media presence that comes along with it, the national audience, the venue itself, just playing in an NFL stadium, man? What was that like for your first experience?
Well, it was great. It was a great opportunity to just take it all in. And you don't really you don't really know until you're out there. Like you can think about it, you can see it on TV, but you don't really know what that game feel like until you experience it. And once you get that first one, you never forget that feeling because it's always nothing like your first. It's a great feeling, great atmosphere. It's an electric environment. It's gonna be loud, and it don't take much. It don't take many people for it to be loud in the Superdome. I mean, if you're not working crowd noise and working silent count, I mean, you got to really work the logistics of the game. You got to be prepared for everything because it's an unknown environment for your young men.
You know, you had a chance. You coached Ladarius Skelton, who was a 4-time Bayou Classic MVP. You coached Lenore Tillery, the all-time leading SWAC rusher, who had monster games in the Bayou Classic. I remember Mike Jones at wide receiver having a big game. You're talking about Austin Howard, man, Willie Quinn, some big-time players. But aside from that, you got to give me your most memorable Bayou Classic because, man, I remember some games, the field goal game when the field goal was blocked and we went to the championship. I don't want to spoil it, but you give me Dawson Odums' most memorable Bayou Classic game, man.
Well, it was two. I really think two are up there in my mind. You already called one. The block field goal was it was a back and forth football game. They drove down the field, got in field goal range, and we came up with the block and celebrated. Then we had a 4th and goal stop on the 1-yard line. They tried the quarterback sneak, and I mean, that interior defense was just stout, man. We stopped them with a half a yard to go and walked away again with another victory. But it always brought out the best in both teams. And I got a chance to go against a lot of coaches at Grambling during my time. So it always brought the best out of everybody, man. It was great for the fans to have those two institutions on display.
And you know what was peculiar? Your last Bayou Classic wasn't even in New Orleans. It was in Shreveport when you whooped up on Grambling, man. That was a different one going up to Shreveport and watching that one.
Yeah, because there wasn't nobody there but us and them.
And I was there, Coach. I was there too.
Oh, well, I'm glad it was doing COVID. Wasn't a whole lot of people out there, but that goes to show you that it still took place. And a lot of things that happened has caused that game to relocate and move and do certain things. But you take your hat off to the community and to the people that always find a way to find a location and put that game on because that game represents everything that is good about Louisiana.
What is it like when you get done with the Bayou Classic, man? Do your phone normally get blew up with folks who you close friends, colleagues, former colleagues? They say, man, hey, look, we watched you guys. I watched you this week, Coach.
Well, you go get the phone calls before, you go get the phone calls afterwards. But the biggest thing that you do get is that the thank yous are how well the team represented the institution. And I think that's the greatest gratification that you can get is because when they go out there and their shirt tails are tucked in, they play hard, they look uniformity, and they speak well, and they represent the university not only as football players but as student athletes as well. And when they can do that to the fullest, it gives everybody a confidence about what is happening in the program and how great they can feel whether you win or lose.
How do you keep your team focused, especially coming out of that Thanksgiving night and then all the hype begins Friday and you guys get down to New Orleans? What was the process like for you to keep your guys away from the distractions of what could occur with such a huge event in the city of New Orleans?
Well, first, we never stayed in New Orleans. That was number one.
Point blank period, huh?
Yeah, we never stayed in New Orleans. And they had to sign out to stay in New Orleans afterwards. Hey, not on my watch. It's just too much can happen in a short period of time. So we always stayed out by the airport, man. We were secluded, man. We always stayed, and we understand we was there for business. It was for the fans and everybody else to enjoy, but we was there for business. And we were blessed that the majority of the time we took care of business.
Took care of business. You talked about the coach. You got a chance to go against Broderick Fobbs. Man, I remember, part of those 3 losses that you had in the Classic, man, a couple of them was to Devontae Kincaid and Grambling, man. And not only talk about Southern, but some of those Grambling teams, because in your time, this game always pretty much meant somebody was going to the SWAC championship, winner takes all. What was that like against some of those Grambling teams, man, you went up against?
You know, it's going to be a challenge, especially during the time when Coach Fobbs was there, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for him, and he did a fantastic job while he was there. And we always met before the game and said, hey, they're coming for a show. Let's give them one. And we didn't let them down. Both our teams were prepared, and both our teams were always in the hunt. And as long as both teams were in the hunt, we kept those numbers up there. I looked at the attendance from 2014, I believe, to 2019, and I think it was one game below 60,000, and we was at 57. Every other game was above 60. So that was a testament from where we started. But a lot of that had to do with how well his team was playing and also how well we were playing.
You know, and those are some great games, man. I just remember those battles going back and forth. And one of the best teams to ever play at Southern that I think don't get a lot of love because the Bayou Classic ultimately ended that season was that 2016 team, Coach, that I think people don't talk enough about when Southern and Grambling both came into that Bayou Classic undefeated and winner takes all, man. That was one of those ones, and that was one of the better teams, especially during your tenure here at Southern, that I think they get kind of missed out on because they did make the championship. But heading into that one, man, when you say two teams undefeated in conference and it's Southern and Grambling going into a Bayou Classic, that means something. And you talked about it. That helps in terms of attendance and as well as the national audience tuning in to watch that type of game.
Yeah, and it definitely had the build up of a championship game. And there was no doubt in my mind that whoever won that 2016 Bayou Classic probably had a great chance of going on and winning the SWAC championship and ultimately playing for a Celebration Bowl. And because both teams were really talented, it could have went either way. And it was great to see. We just came up on the wrong end of it. But you're right, that was one of the better teams that we had during that time. And it was unfortunate that we came up short.
Now, I got to ask you, this the other part to it. I talked about you. Just individual performance, the best individual performance you've seen of an athlete during your time coaching, whether it's Southern or Grambling in the Bayou Classic.
Well, Kincaid was special. Kincaid was special. Jonathan Williams had one of those games. Austin Howard had a special day. Darius Skelton had a special day. And I think when you look at it that way, you always look at the teams that win, but man, it was always a competitive football game, and usually whichever quarterback was going to play well gave you a chance to win because it was usually two really good quarterbacks on display.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we was both in the hunt for championships, so you don't be in the hunt for championships without good quarterback play.
Yeah, you don't be in the hunt without good quarterback play. Hey, Coach, I got ready to get ready to take a break. You got a second to hang on with me and continue to talk some other stuff?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. All
right, well, let's do this, everybody. Let's take a break. If you're just tuning in, that's the voice of Dawson Odums, former Southern University head coach, 6-time Bayou Classic winner at Southern University. We're talking about the Bayou Classic and all things this morning. So he's on the line with me. We got to get ready to take a break, and we'll come back. We'll continue more of this conversation. Y'all stay tuned. It's the Jaguar Journal.
As you can see, we're here in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans for the Bayou Classic. Let's take a look at what...
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Glad to have you guys with us. I am Perry White. Good morning to everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody watching and listening on the YouTube and Facebook across the world. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on X. We're on Instagram, Facebook, as well as TikTok. So we're all over the place. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, and you can follow and keep up with us across all of those other areas. Continue to grow with us, and we want you to grow with us. It costs nothing. It's free to support. All you got to do is hit the like and hit the subscribe button. This morning, I'm joined by former Southern University head football coach Dawson Odums, 6-time Bayou Classic winner. Good morning, Coach Odums.
Good morning.
Man, you know, it is out. The news broke earlier this week, but as we go through, we know everything will be solidified once a press conference, but it seems to be Marshall Faulk is going to take over Southern University's program. And the question I have for you as a head coach, when you're hiring a coach and, you know, just like yourself coming in, taking over a program, what is it like? And give me like a timeline, Coach, that fans may otherwise do not understand when a coach gets the job at this point in the season. It's the end of the football year, but the college football landscape has changed with recruiting. There are timelines that you have to be able to try to catch as you're trying to build a program, and talk to us and educate us from a coaching perspective of getting a job at this point in the season, and then what that timeline looks like moving forward within that first month of being a head coach being named.
Well, that's a good question because you got a lot going on. You're a head coach is trying to put a staff together. You're trying to get all this stuff done in a time frame. You have Thanksgiving break. A lot of colleges now, once you get to Thanksgiving break, a lot of the students go home and everything goes online. So you may not even get a chance to see any of the players that are currently on the roster. And you get a chance to also have relationships and meetings with them prior to them going home for the Christmas break. So you got exams coming up. You got roster management that you got to look at. You got dead periods, especially for your FBS. If you FCS, you got to get official visits. You got the early signing period, and all that's taking place in December. Then it's going to go dead for FCS, and then you're going to come in January, and you're going to have to deal with high school recruits. You got to deal with the portal open up in January. You got the short portal windows. You got faculty, staff, administration that's going to still be on vacation. What does that look like as far as getting guys admitted into school? What does that time frame look like? And then you got to look at, okay, can we get them in before school start? What's the census date? How long do we have? And all those meetings got to take place in a short period of time. So it's a lot of stuff got to happen real fast when you're a head coach, just making sure that everybody's on the same page. And that's everybody that's going to touch your program. And you got to have those meetings. If you're not able to have those meetings and sit down and find out what those policies and procedures are, what's the academic makeup look like, where we at with APR, what kind of guys we got to recruit, what kind of guys we got to bring in. Is it certain guys we can? Is this one of the institutions that, you know, you don't really have to have nothing but a heartbeat to get in? Is this an institution where, you know, you got to have some qualifications that's got to be met? So what does the admission process look like? How long do it take to turn over transcripts from an academic evaluation standpoint? So all this stuff is taking place, and we don't have a whole lot of time. You don't have a whole lot of time. You got from really, we're talking December the 1st till January the 1st. They're getting all that taken care of.
And, you know, I don't think when the average fan out there, they hear when the head coach's name, but then once the head coach's name, typically what goes into now building a staff for a coach?
Well, most coaches are going to have a staff already in mind. Now, that don't mean that you go get the people you have in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I always have 2 or 3 names at each position. And you've already made conversations with them because you already know it's a possibility that you might be getting a job. So you've already talked to them about the landscape of it, but you may not have talked to them about the number one thing, and that's how much I'm going to make, Is there moving expenses? You know, all those things got to be. They go put us up. Is it gonna be somewhere for us to stay? And what does all that look like? So I think you got to have an idea when you're a head coach, because these things can't blindside you, because if you don't have an idea of it, it's going to slow the whole process down, because you want to get your guys there as fast as you can, getting them hired, getting them on payroll, getting them rolling. What does that process look like? How long does it take for us to get the hiring process done? So just having an idea with all those pieces of that puzzle and how they work together, just having an idea how that works is beneficial for a head coach when you're going into a new job, so that you can just make sure that you're on the same page with the university so that it can run smooth as possible.
I got to ask you, because what is it like for a coach who's in a position to be a first-time head coach? You know, you may have been a coordinator somewhere, may have been a position coach, but now being the head guy in charge, things change and you got to figure it out. How confusing can it be for a first-time head coach dealing with all of these timelines coming at you quick and trying to get things together? Can it get overwhelming for a coach?
Well, yeah, I think anytime you go into an unknown environment or a new environment, it can be overwhelming just with, there's a lot of stuff you just don't know. That's why you got to have a great support staff. That's why everybody got to be on the same page. Like people that you normally don't meet with, that you may meet with once a week, you may have to have, 2 or 3 meetings a week so that you can get kind of comfortable with the policies and procedures of what you're doing at a new place. So just getting there, meeting people, knowing people. And that's the biggest thing, because it's a relationship building. This is a relationship process. It's a relationship business. So you got to get in there and have relationships. And, I always say, you always want to go somewhere and meet people so you can get a really good vibe of what that process look like, who will be working with, their knowledge standpoint. And everybody got to be willing to help the new guy. Like, you can't have no hidden agenda. It can't be what we used to do, how we used to do it. You got to be open to change if everybody is on board with what the vision look like together, because that's what it takes. It takes everybody sitting down and saying, this is where we are, this is where we want to go, and this is how we believe we can get there. And if that head coach, he sits in there and they hash out, we want to recruit, this the landscape, this is our plan, this is our vision, then this is how I want to run the program, then everybody that touches that program has to be on board with that, from your strength coach, from your athletic training, from academics, admissions. If the cash cow is going to be football, then everybody that touched football has to be on board with that process and what that process look like. So if you want to win championships, then your vision has to match that of winning championships. Everything has to match that of winning championships. And the schools that are doing that or in position, it's in an alignment. And that alignment has to be there from everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody has to be in alignment in order for this to manifest. If not, it's going to be an uphill battle.
Let me ask you this, and lastly, before we get ready to let you go, Coach, I know you got a busy morning. The $1 million question, what is it like to be a head coach at Southern University? Because many people will say it comes with a pressure of a fan base who is very vocal, very loud. They are supportive. They know football. Some do, some don't. Even the ones that don't, they going to show up. But what is it truly like to be the head football coach at Southern? And does it come with pressure knowing that the people want to win?
Well, you definitely gonna know they want to win. That's no question. If you don't know, you gonna find out real quick, because they gonna let you know. That's a passionate fan base, and I really think that you have to know that they love football. And when you first come in, they not gonna love you. The only thing that make a percentage of them love you is winning. Mm-hmm. That's it. You're coming to a fan base that love football, and what they love about football is winning. That's it. And if you can understand that, you can understand how to deal with the fan base. If you don't understand that, they're going to let you know real quick whether they're happy about what you're doing or whether they disagree with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why it's an attractive job, but that's also why it's a challenging job, because it is a unique fan base and they don't mind telling you on social media how they feel. That comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
Some fan bases are not like that. Some fan bases give them a chance. No, when you walk through the doors at Southern University, it's expected for you to win a championship. That's why I say it has to align. When you knew, because you don't know that expectation. You hear about it, but you haven't witnessed it and you don't know it. So get in alignment to where everybody can see that, okay, year one, what's a good year one? If you say year one is winning, you're probably already filling in the expectation. They don't care what the records are the previous year. They don't care what the records are when you come in. They don't care what the team is when you come in. The fan base wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to know that you are the guy that can come in and produce winning. Some coaches have came in their first year and they have figured out how to win in their first year. Some coaches came in their first year, and that's me included. When I was at Norfolk State, I won my first year. But sustaining a program over time is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to have everybody got to have the same vision and that plan. Everybody got to be on the same page, because that's the expectation at Southern University, is to win championships. That's what they expect, especially in football.
No doubt about it. And you won a championship here. Pete Richardson won a championship here. A.W. Mumford won a championship here. And, Coach, you go down as the third winningest all-time coach in Southern University football history, behind A.W. Mumford, who was 1, Pete Richardson 2, then it's Dawson Odums right there at 3. So, Coach, I appreciate you for taking time this morning. 6-time Bayou Classic winner is alone to go along with that. Coach, thank you for coming on this morning, talking about the Bayou Classic, talking about Southern, and most importantly, just sharing your knowledge and information with us by just educating us on things that we may not truly understand as a fan base, besides the name of a coach and wins. But sometimes we have to know it's more to that, to be able to help the program. So I appreciate you.
Well, always a pleasure, man. I just think it's a great place. It's a great place, and it was an honor for me to have a chance to be there and witness it when it was doing great. And hopefully whoever the next guy is, they can come in and everybody rally around them and support them and give them opportunity to be successful. But just know that success is only measured at Southern University football through winning championships. And that's the standard you're held at. It's not a mediocre program, and they don't expect to be mediocre. They expect to win championships. And when you accept that job, you accept that challenge. And I wish them nothing but much success.
That is the voice of Coach Dawson Odums, former Southern University head football coach, third all-time in wins at Southern University history, and a 6-time Bayou Classic winner as a head coach. Thank you, Coach.
Always a pleasure. Go Jags.
Go Jags. All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we'll keep this thing going. Stay tuned. More. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Glad to have you guys with us. I'm Perry White. Good morning to everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody listening and watching on our Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on TikTok. We're on X, Instagram, Facebook, as well as you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as we continue to keep things going today, it is the Bayou Classic. It is the granddaddy of them all. It is the big one down in the Crescent City between Southern and Grambling, two premier, storied, tradition-rich football programs meeting on the gridiron today. And nobody better than talking to my man who's going to be calling the game today, as well as always great to have conversations with him. And that's my man, Mark Gray. Good morning, Mark.
What's the deal, Pete? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
It's a wonderful time to be here in New Orleans. I pick up about 30 degrees in terms of wars and probably about 30 pounds in consumption of food and beverage. So it's on and popping around here, dog.
Hey, I tell people all the time, when we talked about it earlier this week on your show, I remember one night me and you had got out, man, and we went to go get something to eat, man. It was wee hours of the morning, we go in the restaurant and you like, man, let's go get a po' boy. And I'm like, cool. And you looked on the menu and your mouth dropped to the floor when you saw that blackened catfish po' boy. I still talk about that all the time, man, because that put me on game that day. I think you and I both got that thing that night.
Man, look, you ever had a toe curling moment in your life? Well, my toes curled that night, bruh. I'm telling you, it was one of those moments where once that blackened catfish hit my palate, my life began anew. And you know, the beautiful part about being in New Orleans is that if you even have one of those irresponsible moments of overindulgence as far as alcoholic beverages concerned, they always got best hangover food. You never have, if you leave New Orleans with a hangover, you just, I mean, let's be clear, you're rudimentary at the game. You're not even TV.
Sound like you found a good breakfast meal, huh?
It doesn't matter. You know, that's it, wherever you can find the alligator sausage, especially in the omelet. There's certain therapeutic qualities about that help to offset the incredible headache that you were expecting in the morning. You're dead tired, and you're hating the long walk to your gate from the airport. But other than that, if you're a real player, you're cool.
Yeah. So you like that alligator sausage omelet?
Yes. Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Who, hey, look, and there are some who might chase it with mimosa.
Oh.
Which is always a good thing.
Oh.
You know? Yeah.
You trying to get the morning started right today before the game, Mark?
Well, you know, that's what we do.
You come to New Orleans for a good time, right?
Exactly. Well, actually, I'm just kind of giving you the recap of last night. That's how I pretty much went.
My man, Mark Gray, everybody, you hear his voice joining me this morning. Sports Rap Network. You be sure to go check them out, www.sportsrapnetwork.com. My man, Mark Gray, doing big things over there.
Can I say black owned on here?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. Well, no, you can't say whatever you want. My bad, Mark. You can't say whatever you want, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make it, you know, this is a big venture for everybody because not only are we doing talk programming, we're doing HBCU sports. So not only is this game going to be on Sirius XM, for those of you who have that satellite radio thing, we also have a streaming service now, both on HSRN and Sports Rap Network. And Sports Rap gives us a lot of other local markets. I mean, we got the Two Live Stews a part of the crew now, you know, and that's just one of the many people that you guys may have heard of, but a lot of other coming stars. So my show is OG Sports Radio, and so at some point when you get ready to hit 60 and most of your hair that's still there is gray, you have to embrace the fact that you're old guy. So what we're trying to do is, you remember how it was, you learned a lot of stuff growing up in the barbershop, didn't you?
Yeah.
Just by being with your elders and stuff. It was one of those things. I think we've missed out on all that thanks to the, you know, the hair cuttery and all those, like, you know, places where people put mousse in their hair before getting it cut. And, you know, think about it. When you was rolling with Pop and Unc P, there was no mousse in the barbershop, bruh. And for a while there, I know when I moved to Atlanta, I was tripping because dudes were using that Paul Mitchell stuff, and it was absolutely crazy. So we taking it back old school. We embracing the present, tempering everything with the past, and so you know how we got here. And then in the middle, we just have a lot of fun.
That's it, man. A lot of fun. And last year I had a lot of fun being able to call the game with you. You, myself, and Mo Carter called the game on Sirius XM. Man, and that was a great time, man, being able to do it from that perspective. And for you, man, just the enjoyment that you make sure every year that Bayou Classic is going to be on that schedule of a game you're going to cover.
Well, you know, that's part of the deal. y'all take everything away from me, Bayou Classic. You know, that's like my royalties. Those are my, what do you call it? That when artists have a large library of work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my large library of work is the Bayou Classic.
Years of games you covered, the Bayou Classic, would you say is the biggest one for you?
But now, how do you judge biggest in terms of
event,
history,
culture,
or
programs playing?
I will tell you this. Probably it is only because it took Bethune-Cookman a while to come back at the Florida Classic.
Mm-hmm.
There was a renaissance somewhere in the 90s when Bethune had Alan Suber and Shine White on the sidelines, and they became a thing. And that's when the Florida Classic became more than just the FAMU Bethune-Cookman matchup. And that's a heck of a classic, Pete. Let me tell you something. It's in a big town like Orlando, and you can make, and I know how people are uncomfortable going to Orlando, and I am too, but it's an amazing game, man, because they play it in where they play the Citrus Bowl. You got all the bells and whistles that go with Disney. You got two really good bands, and that's kind of where it ends because for so long, Florida A&M has been dominated in that classic, where Grambling and Southern, you never know. I mean, it's like the box of chocolates, bro. Every year, you never know what you're going to get.
I like the Forrest Gump reference right there.
My man. He is my hero.
Man, I love me some Mark Gray. Mark, I got to get ready to take a break right quick, man. You got a second to hang on with me?
Yeah, I'll hang on with you.
All right, man. Let's get ready to take a break real quick, y'all. That's the voice of Mark Gray. Hey, my main man. Listen, one of my heroes in the game I grew up watching, and now here I am blessed enough to be able to have a laugh and a conversation and maybe a cocktail with him a little bit later. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
When we go to, we triple both. When Southern has home games, we go to Southern games, and when Grambling has home games, we go to Grambling. It's a win-win situation.
We support both, no matter what.
That's right.
This is a house divided. When it say divided, don't mean negatively, but this weekend that is divided. This is my wife, Margaret, a Grambling State University alumnus. I'm Barney Huggins, Southern University alumnus, and we both are pulling for
Grambling.
See what I'm saying? That's what I meant when I said house divided. But anyway, this thing has been going on for 32 years. We just moved back from Seattle, Washington. I met her in Seattle. She had Grambling equipment on. I had on Southern gear. I said, oh, wait a minute. But hey, it all still works.
Yes, indeed. Hey, we've been going to this for years. It's an opportunity for the brothers and sisters to get together, for old friends to get together with those lifelong friends. And that's what it's really about. The game is always good, but just getting together with everybody else is actually the best. That's what I think about the Classic.
We thought you knew. We thought you knew. We telling everybody that walk around with this Southern shirt on, you need to look behind you because you dropped your jeans. You better pick it up. Let them tell you like it is.
Shout out to the SU football team. It's going down. I got my partner over here supporting this ground fam. We about to give a blemish on their record. Shout out to the Jags.
We enjoy coming out to the Bayou Classic. It's a tradition for our family. I'm an alumni of Southern University, and again, it's a good time for family and also friends. So it's a tradition for us. Go Jags! About the game.
That's what that was about. But how many championships did he win you? How many Sheridan championships did he win you? 2. Okay. SWAC championships, he won you 3.
On his first go round.
It doesn't matter who he got the team from. He won it under him.
His first go round. But when he came back, was winning the
What was he left? Who left him what? Melvin left him garbage.
Really? Excuse me.
But he won.
Before he left, we won.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying, when he came back, he took an All-American quarterback and made him compete for his position against your son fresh out of high school without a quarterback?
That's what.
Why would you compete with
my son?
Sweat? But does that make it right?
It don't make it right.
You look like a Christian man now. Does that make it right?
It don't make it right.
Does that make it right?
It don't make it right. But it's still skill.
It's all about the win.
At the expense of the whole team. Yeah.
That's what I'm able to do. I wouldn't do it. I'd have switched my son to cornerback or receiver because he was not the best quarterback. And he cost us games. Okay. Until we had a revoke.
Y'all winning now?
It's obvious.
See?
All right, everybody, we're back more of the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us as we keeping things rocking and rolling. It is the Bayou Classic today. It is Southern. It is Grambling. It is Louisiana at its finest in the Crescent City on a national stage with a national television audience on NBC. And with my man Mark Gray today, he's going to have a worldwide audience out there broadcasting the game and calling on Sirius XM radio today. Mark, man, good morning to you.
It's all good, bro. How you doing?
Man, doing good, man. Let me talk to you a little bit because, of course, what's going to be some news that's also surrounded around Southern University's program is the hiring of a football coach. And, of course, the news has kind of been around all week leading up into this game that is looking like all roads going to lead to Marshall Faulk taking over this program. A press conference is set for Monday, but you're just hearing things coming through the grapevine, and it seems like that's what it's going to be. Your thoughts on the potential of Marshall Faulk, and if this is the case, what this looks like for Southern in your opinion?
Given the fact that I don't know anything about his coaching background now, I'm struck by the notion that Southern is just getting on the bicycle of what we may have seen, like, say, at Delaware State, when you get a high-profile name to come in and sort of work as a CEO and brings in the assistants and the people who have links to the players and things like that. College football coaches are more like CEOs. They're upper-level management people, and you delegate a certain amount of responsibility. And I would think that with Marshall Faulk's network, the success of Coach Prime and now Deshaun Jackson, it certainly did make this an attractive opportunity. And much like you hear with the people who are talking about how Lane Kiffin can make it work in Baton Rouge because of the way you can recruit, I think you could make a compelling argument that that's what this could look like for Southern in terms of the way that he can get access to talent and other resources that can elevate the program, both visibility-wise and aesthetic. So on the high side of that, that's how I see it would look, Perry. And he doesn't need the money. He's got an accomplished career. It seems to be, hit or miss these days with the coaches.
Yeah.
Who are coming from the league. But I mean, even you see how Sam Shade brought more respectability to Alabama A&M this year. They started looking like Alabama A&M again. And quite frankly, and I love Southern dearly, but for the last 3 years, they haven't quite looked like Southern. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we know what you're saying.
Yeah. So, all right. So when you put that in the mix, the Marshall Faulk's a Louisiana guy. I'm pretty sure he's got people who have ties to the university. I think there will be more than just a professional opportunity, and I'm assuming here, okay, that he would be looking at this as a opportunity to give back to the game in the state that he loves. And if Southern can benefit from that, great. I think it does reflect a certain amount of innovative thinking from Roman Banks to step out there on the island or the ledge, however you want to look at it. But heck, go big or don't go at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see it.
And I'm looking at it.
They can afford them.
Yeah, and I'm looking at, Southern fans are looking for it. A burst. And when I look out there, social media, of course, is a place to gauge the fan base. It's mixed emotions out there, Mark. Some people saying they felt Southern in a position to say, hey, we needed somebody who's already been a coach and can come in with the program. And then you got others saying, hey, this makes the ticker. This turns heads.
It does.
It
does. And everybody has seen how the system works. You have this big personality who's smart enough to understand the semantics of the game, understands how, okay, we got to make improvements, we got to get money, we got to get stuff that may not only benefit us, but basketball, baseball, women's sports too. That's where I think, I'm hoping that I'm reading the tea leaves the way that Roman Banks is approaching this. You know, I'm thinking this is a certain amount of forward thinking, and I think a lot of people, Perry, and you and I have had these offline conversations about those roadblocks that are in the way and inhibiting greatness, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I think Marshall Faulk's cachet, depending on how he communicates with the college community first, but I think he can mend those fences. And I bring that up only because I think Ed Reed has a stain on his career now for what happened at Bethune-Cookman before he ever coached the game. And really, it's about people skills in this moment, people skills and organization. I think from what I remember, Marshall Faulk to be an affable guy unless he was losing. He's really, really smart and probably would have a pretty solid vision board. And I'm pretty sure that if the conversations have escalated to this point, then he has an idea of who he wants as his position coaches and coordinators. And I want to use Deshaun Jackson as a model. I don't know how their relationship developed, but somehow Deshaun Jackson was able to lure Clinton Purtis to be his running back coach at Delaware State. And what happens with that? They run all the way to the conference championship game with the most prolific rush offense in FCS. So think about what happened in Dover, which is a program that doesn't have nearly as much cachet as Southern does. Put a big name with the right organization in place, and he knows how to put the right staff together. It's a gold mine, man. It's a gold mine waiting to happen. If I'm a Southern fan, it almost feels too good to be true because I'm kind of punch drunk after the disappointing season. But once you get through the shock of this, there's a certain amount of sense that I see to this, to the potential for what this could be.
Yeah. Mark, for everybody out there, man, let everybody know how they can keep up with you with what you're working on, as well as how they can listen to you today, broadcasting and covering the Bayou Classic football game.
Well, even before we do that, Pete, I got to pull you up. I was at a game on Wednesday, a HBCU basketball game, Division I versus Division II. It was Delaware State, ironically, and the defending CIAA champion, Virginia State. Virginia State won that game. And I had a seminal moment when I was watching that play out because you know how when you go to basketball games, you really get a look at the athlete because they don't have as much padding and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So you can judge a book by its cover, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
I looked at these two teams, and they were even in terms of how they looked. You know, just same amount of height, same amount of athleticism. And I saw a Division II team beat a Division I team on Wednesday. It was a great game, heartbreaking atmosphere because we were celebrating the life of Blake Bozeman, Todd Bozeman's kid, who was murdered a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they started a foundation, so this was a big event. The big picture is, Pete, the landscape of college basketball has changed. At a place like Southern, when we've seen success in the tournament, it can happen so quickly. And I think I can use Marshall Faulk potentially as the model for like a guy like Kirk Signetti at Indiana,
mm-hmm.
turning that program around like that. It doesn't take that much to turn Southern around. I just had to get that out to let you know that, you know, and let the fan base know that if this comes true and Marshall Faulk has everything organized, I think it's a win for Southern. Now, you catch me on Sports Rap Radio. Central Time is 8 to 10 p.m., Monday through Friday. download the app, okay? And remember, morning drive is with the 2 Live Stews, and I'm kind of like your closer in the evening. So they kind of like, what's the Dodgers guy? His name escapes me right now. Otani.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like the closer that comes in and finishes it for the win.
Well, Mark, man, I appreciate you coming on today, man. And look, good luck on the call today, man, and continue to enjoy yourself down in New Orleans. I'll be back
So
here
you're not planning on joining us in the booth at all. You're not coming up after. I mean, I know you got field duties, and I wouldn't trade shooting the dancing dolls for being with me and Mo in the booth. But you are welcome.
I'll be up there then. That's all I was waiting on was the invitation, baby. I'm there.
Well, all right. We'll see you Saturday. Hey, always a pleasure talking to y'all. Stay safe, and I'm praying for you down there. I love Louisiana, man. I wish the politicians would do better by y'all, but that's a topic for another show.
That's my man, Mark Gray, everybody. Thank you, Mark.
All right, man. Peace.
All right. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's show. I got to get ready to get out of here and head back down to New Orleans. Want to thank my man Mike coming in this morning, making sure everything good. Always CJ Guidry. It's the Bayou Classic, 1 o'clock today, NBC. Hope you guys enjoy. I got to go. I'll be back next week, same time, same place as always. It's the Jaguar Journal. All right, have a good weekend. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.